Hello, everybody, and welcome to Elder Council. This is our winter journey, the first Elder Council of 2020, which is very sacred. And I'm very excited to see all of you. I'm glad that you're excited to see each other too. Colin's like, the charcoal is on, the room is saged and Reiki, the time without time portal is open. I love it. I'm so happy to see you guys. And so I'm ready. I hope you're ready too. Tonight's Elder Council is going to be a little bit different in a way that I'm very excited about. So I have some different things to tell you. I had a feeling it was going to be different. And there's a couple of you who are new, I think new in general or new to Elder Council. So I want to welcome you into the space, into my space, into the energy, into the field. Tonight's going to be really, really exciting. Yeah, it's big energy tonight. So I want to, I have little crystals on my forehead. I don't know. I thought I would kind of spice it up a little bit tonight. So brought in a little bit of bling for my third eye. So welcome. Sylvie's new. Siren of the Void is new to Elder Council, right? Dr. Chris is new in general. Welcome to you. I know. Yeah, and Cecilia was here live last time we did Elder Council, so I'm really excited to have you all here, and I'm really, really glad that you're here tonight too. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about Elder Council. What I like about Elder Council is I always feel like I can take my time. You know, like tonight isn't a class. Tonight's an experience. And so what I love about it as a teacher is I'm not here to drop knowledge necessarily, although I always try. I'm here to guide you through an experience that I really hope you're going to enjoy, that I think is going to be really special. Yeah, and you know, Pamela Leboeuf said I'm an oldie. She is. Pamela and I met in person in New Orleans. What, like, is that 4 or 5 years ago now? I know, it's been a long time. So anyway, so much love to all of you who are new and old. I love taking my time. My favorite thing to tell people or to be told is to take your time. Take your time. Have you ever noticed when you're, I don't know, with someone at a grocery store and they're checking you out and they're rushing because they want to get you, you know, where you're going, or I don't know, somebody's saying, oh, you know, your food is delayed or something. Have you ever noticed what happens when you tell someone, take your time? It's okay, take your time. Their entire central nervous system like softens, and you can see it's like a visible reaction. And so try, if you're around someone or if you feel like that sometimes, and I have gotten into a new practice in my own personal life where I tell myself to take my time, and then I have all the time I need. Even if I don't, because what I've noticed is if I rush through something, it's probably going to take me the same amount of time as if I take my time. And what happens is I enjoy the process more, right? If you rush to, you know, put on your makeup, or if you rush to take your shower, or you rush, or you take your time, how much longer is it really going to take if you take your time? 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. So anyway, I'm trying a little bit in my own life to remind myself I have all the time I need. There's plenty of time, because the reality is time is a mutable force. You can slow time down, you can speed time up. And so that's part of working multidimensionally and getting out of 3D a little bit. 3D has us in these very tight time constraints, this 24-hour clock and, you know, 60-minute hours and all that. It's like micromanaged for us. But when we start to work outside of the third dimension, we lose space and we lose time. So we don't feel confined, we don't feel rushed. Everything can take as long as it needs to, or can be done as quickly as it can be done. And that's one of the reasons I'm always telling you guys, healing is a choice. It's not a process. How long do you think it takes for you to get healed from something? Does it need to take a month? Does it need to take a week? Does it need to take a year? You know what I mean? Or can it take 30 seconds? Can it already have happened? In spirit time is this mutable force. So I think it's really about starting to see life that way. And then when you need to speed things up, you can kind of fast forward the tape. And when you need to stretch it out, you can do that too. Oh, I love that. Larissa says people tell her that time has no meaning with her. When they're around her, she's like a time warp. I think that's a really good sign. Anyway, don't worry if you're just coming in now, you're not late. You're right on time. So I want to, while I smudge a little bit, I want to talk to you about Elder Council. And I'm going to start cooking my charcoal so I can work with my incense too. I made a new perfume today because I was guided to. And it's so funny how spirit works. So yesterday, they gave me the ingredients. And it was like in this, and this, and this, and this, and this. So I was like, okay, so this is Elder Council 2. Because technically there's 2 Elder Council perfumes already. There's one called Elder Council and there's one called Ultimate Elder Council. But Ultimate Elder Council was a combination. It wasn't really a new perfume. So technically there's really only one Elder Council perfume that I created, what is it now, 7 years ago for Elder Council perfume, I want to say. That charcoal is like happy to see me, which is good. Anyway, so I've never evolved it, which is not like me. You know, usually as I go through cycles and iterations and developments in my own practice, I usually like to go back and revisit things and bring something new to it. So I gathered up all the ingredients today, and before I came here, I was meditating. And I always meditate the day of Elder Council, and I'll talk more about what Elder Council is in a minute. I was meditating, and they always tell me the day of what we're doing. And I didn't expect what I saw. I'm ready for it though, I think, and I think you are too. So in the meditation this morning, it was a white buffalo calf woman who came. We're not journeying with her tonight, but she came to show me what I was supposed to do. And if you know the story of White Buffalo Calf Woman, which is one of my favorite of the Native and Indigenous stories, legends, mythologies, creation stories, because to the Lakota, I don't think they see White Buffalo Calf Woman as a myth. I think they see it as a very real visitation. And the legend is actually quite violent. You know, there were 2 warriors who encountered White Buffalo Calf Woman on their path. And as the legend goes, they noticed that she wasn't walking on the ground. She was walking above the ground. She was hovering above the ground. So they stopped because they were like, this is a holy, sacred figure, whatever this is that's coming toward us. So they stopped. And the one warrior was in reverence, right? Like noticing her, listening to her, watching her. And the other warrior, because she was very beautiful, was starting to have thoughts and reactions to her physically because he found her attractive. And so White Buffalo Calf Woman looked at both of them and said, come forward to me and do whatever it is you want to do. Say whatever it is that you want to say. And so both of the warriors approached her, and the one either said something or did something, but it was an advance toward her. And she instantly created a cloud around them, and the warrior with the poor intentions toward her turned to bone. He just instantly, spontaneously went from human to skeleton, okay? And so the other warrior was there like, I saw that. And she explained to the other warrior, now go back and tell the rest of you that I'm here and that I've come with a very important purpose, right? And so what the White Buffalo Calf Woman did for the Lakota Nation was she brought the 7 sacred rituals, including the Sundance, including the pipe ceremony. And so she's a figure of significance in that culture, in that tradition, in that lineage, because she brought with her, she channeled for them these 7 sacred ceremonies. And so there's a song that's associated with her that's very beautiful to listen to. If you actually listen to it in Lakota, it's quite beautiful. And so one of the reasons why that legend or that narrative, and to this day, buffalo is very sacred to the Lakota Nation. And those traditions, those ceremonies endure, even though some of them for a while, I believe the sun dance was outlawed for a certain period of time. It's really a trance dance, right? But she transformed, the entire indigenous world with her traditions and with her ceremonies and with her with the wisdom that she brought. And so I'm in meditation this morning, and it's all white buffalo calf women, and it's beautiful. So I was like, okay, so we're journeying with white buffalo calf women, and then it was like, nope, no, we're not. And so then I came in. So I started to understand what we were doing, and then I came in and I blended the oils that I had been told to put together, and I changed it just a little bit, sort of let my intuition drive it. And what I was told is tonight is the Elder Council for your feminine lineage. So this is Fem Elder Council. And the reason there had to be a new scent for tonight, and honest to goodness, like, this is all, I've put this together in my head and through meditation today, okay? This was not where I thought we were going. Even this morning with the meditation around white buffalo calf women, I was like, okay, and then it was like, nope, that's not what we're doing at all. So I think I was just meant to see her to be reminded that we all have, in our culture, in our lineage, in our traditions, we all have a figure who's responsible for our creation narrative. And so what we're going to be doing tonight, which I've never done before, I even have a very appropriate wand, I think, for tonight's work. What we're going to be doing tonight is tracing your female lineage. And it doesn't matter whether you're male or female in this lifetime. It really doesn't. You're going to get just as much out of this. This isn't about you. This is about your lineage. And we are going to be, as my spirit guide said, we're going to be cataloging the bones tonight. And as I drum, because the guide said they wanted me to create this thunder beat, so I'll play what they showed me. As we go back through tonight and start to dig up your lineage, you're going to piece together, you're going to remember tonight your own creation story. Who brought ceremony to your line? Was it you? For some of you it was. Who's been the keeper of magic in your line? Was it you? And who was it before you? And who was it before that? And what kind of magic did they practice? I've got chills too. These are questions I'm excited about tonight because I'm going to be journeying with you, and these are questions that I've held for a long time, and I've done a lot of past life regression, a lot of plant medicine ceremony. So what's really special about the perfume, which I'm calling Fem Elder Council, okay, and in case you missed the post, I did little sample vials. I only made 100 samples though, so it's the first 100 people who say EC2 in your notes, this is Elder Council 2, are going to get a little sample of this perfume. What's really special about it is there's ayahuasca in it. Not a lot, but a little bit. It's the only perfume that I've ever made with that particular medicine in it. And I don't think I'll ever add it to a perfume again. I think it's in there because she is the ultimate mother. She's the ultimate member of your female lineage. If there's anyone who can help you catalog the bones, it's her. Now, I will tell you, I'm not going to make Fem Elder Council again. So this is a one-time, it will be bottled. So there's 100 samples that, like I said, they're just our gifts. If you say EC2 in your notes, I'll send you a little tiny one of our sample vials. And then the perfume will come in a week or two when it's done curing. In your notes, so when you shop at sagegoddess.com, you don't have to worry about it right now. You have till midnight tomorrow, or until the first 100 are gone. You just say EC2 in your notes, and then I'll send you a vial as a gift. Pretty interesting, right? Yeah, when you shop at sagegoddess.com, there's a little notes section. Some of you know it well, because a lot of you write us letters when you place your orders, which we love. We always read them. And, sometimes you write notes and say, hey, as you're filling this order, can you hold the intention that, my highest good is supported, or can you call in white light for my family, or so we always read the notes that you put. So just make sure, even if you're writing other things in the notes section to us, make sure that you also say EC2. And I think we still have some left. I only started it today, so first 100 folks will get one. Okay, so good luck with that. And then if you miss the samples, then when it comes out, there'll be bottles of it. But like I said, I'm not going to make another batch. I wouldn't be able to put plant medicine in a second batch anyway. I happen to just have some. Interesting. And Deb said she chose Bee Copy incense before we started, which is a great tool for tonight too. If you don't have Elder Council incense, but you do have some of your New Moon incense blends, those are plant medicine. Those would be a great tool to use if you have your solid perfumes that I've made. If you have your initiation balms, those would also be really great tools to work with for tonight. So I'm going to burn a little bit of Elder Council incense myself right now while I tell you more about what Elder Council is, because some of you are new, and that's always a fun opportunity to educate you. And here's a little Elder Council incense smoke for you if you don't have any. That smell will always take me back. It has not changed in all the years that we've been doing this, and it's one of my favorites. Okay. Yeah, Boom Shiva is good too. Yeah, EC2 is what Brooke is looking for in your notes, to put a sample of Fem Elder Council in your order. If you get that, by the way, hold on to it, because like I said, I'm only making one bottle, and use it kind of sparingly. You know what I mean? Save that for ceremony or for anointing your tools, because like I said, I won't be able to put that medicine in any other perfume. This is just a one-time special thing that I'm doing. Isn't it beautiful? I love the smell of Elder Council too. Okay. So I really want to take a few minutes to talk to you about what Elder Council is, since we're taking our time tonight. So when I first started teaching the Magical Sabbatical, which was my first online class in ceremony and magic, and that started, Sage Goddess is turning 9 in July, so that started about 8 years ago. And right out the gate, my spirit guides were like, so you're gonna take these lovely humans on a journey once a quarter to meet their spirit guides and to connect with their ancestors who are also serving as spirit guides. Has anyone had a chance to listen to the audio, the part 2 of the coaching session from this week? I talked a little bit in that audio, so if you haven't heard it yet, when you get a chance, take an hour and check it out if you feel called. I talked a little bit in that audio about the fact that your spirit guides, we kind of lump them all together as if it's this static group of spirits on the other side who's leading you, but we don't really know who they are. Okay, so when you get there, you'll hear me say this again, so I don't want to be redundant, but I also want to share it with you because it's important for you to know tonight. Spirit guides are a lot of different things. It is a very crowded space across the veil. There are many more spirits on the other side of that veil of consciousness than there are humans on this planet at this time. Think about how many people have died. Think about how many generations are ahead of us, because all of their spirits are also on the other side. And then think about other dimensional beings, because humans are just one species, if you will. There's lots of energies on the other side. There are spirits who never incarnate in human form on the other side, what I call pure spirit. And so when you're in Elder Council, sometimes you don't see anything. Sometimes you don't hear anything. Sometimes you just feel something. And sometimes the feeling is like tears or sadness or incredible joy or optimism or excitement or just a sense of presence around you. And I want to remind you that you're only going to see things during Elder Council if you're clairvoyant. If you're not clairvoyant, like if you don't see things, if you don't see dead people all the time, then you're going to be pretty unlikely to see dead people in Elder Council. Clairvoyance is a gift. It's one of, in my experience, 8 or 10 different soul gifts, spiritual gifts that people have. I'm much more clairaudient. I hear things. Clairsentient. I feel things. And claircognizant. I know things. without being able to explain to you how or why I know them. And so I tend to hear, sense, and feel more than I see in general. And that's also my experience in elder council. The only exception to that, by the way, is when you're doing plant medicine work, because like ayahuasca for me is a very visual medicine. Mushrooms are very visual. Peyote is very visual. So if you ever do ceremony with plant teachers, a lot of times that is the first time a non-clairvoyant person will see all the things. And it's mind-blowing. You're like, oh my God, I can see all the things. And every time you do plant ceremony, you come back a little more clairvoyant. Most of my clairvoyance has happened really since I started doing plant work. Because then I'll look over across the room and I can see the flower of life and I can see shapes moving. Once you do plant medicine and you pierce that veil and you know what it's like to look across to the other side, all of a sudden in your peripheral vision it just happens sometimes. It's one of the what I call party benefits of plant medicine work. Prophetic dreams are another way of crossing the veil. They are. But they don't always awaken the clairvoyance the way the other experiences tend to, at least in my experience. So if you don't see things in general, I don't want you to have the expectation that tonight all of a sudden you're going to see all this stuff. That's unrealistic. And it doesn't mean you didn't have a successful journey. A successful journey is about feeling connected. And that can look like seeing things, hearing things, tasting things, smelling things, sensing things, interpreting things. It can feel like just being more alive, having more energy after than you did before is still a great journey in my experience, right? Yeah, Rachel was saying she wants to do plant medicine, but she fears finding the right one to take her through it. That's a big deal. I'm really lucky because I've never had a bad experience, but there are people out there that there's no way I would do plant work with them. Like, just no way. And I've finally gotten to a place in my life where I can do it alone, and I don't need to have somebody tending to me, you know what I mean? At first I wanted to do it in a small group or with another person who was also doing it instead of just the shaman, but now I'm good and I can I know what to expect and I'm not hesitant to go in and do it. And also keep in mind, if you're on SSRIs, right, or any kind of antidepressant, you won't be able to work with plant medicine. It's not safe. It can cause a stroke. And so, but you don't have to do plant medicine to open yourself up spiritually. Being clairvoyant or seeing all the things is not the end all be all. For me, the most important part is downloading the wisdom that's supposed to come through. And that can happen tonight. You don't need to be taking anything or having any kind of psychedelic experience to have that. Because it always comes in like perfect time. Yeah, Lauren said some people do Aya just for kicks. I don't get it. It is very, very, very not for kicks. I would say instead of being for kicks, it kicks your ass. So I can't imagine doing ayahuasca for fun, but maybe there are people who do, and their idea of fun is really different from mine. I always half look forward to it and half dread it, because it's really opening Pandora's box. Yeah, so, well, that's why you can't do it with high blood pressure, because it can cause a stroke, because it raises your baseline blood pressure. I have really low blood pressure, and I'm not on any medication, so I'm a good candidate for it. But if you have high blood pressure, or if you are on medication, you have to really look carefully at what you're taking, and be sure that you're talking to a shaman who's examining your medical history and your medical records to be sure. It's very sacred. It's beautiful and it's terrible. But part of the reason why I find it so challenging is that I don't just journey for myself. And so as soon as I step into her container, I'm seeing you, and I'm seeing your lineage, and I'm seeing everybody on the planet and all their stuff, because I ask to be shown what needs to be seen. And given that the work that I do is pretty public, I have to see a lot of stuff. So it's all at once awe-inspiring and absolutely terrifying, because you come out of it, at least I do, really fully understanding the essence of the human experience beyond my own myopic kind of personal stuff. Yeah. That's right. So anyway, enough about ayahuasca, but I mentioned it just because I want to set expectations. Every time we do elder council, someone will say, well, I fell asleep. Does that mean I didn't get anything? No. Sometimes your spirit guides have to kind of bypass your waking mind because you won't let go. And so they put you to sleep. And then they wake you up when it's over. And that allows them to get your monkey mind chatterbox self over here, like, you know, come here, Lorian. You're going to go to sleep for a little while so I can get to your higher self and open up that line of communication. Because if Lorian's over here going, well, I don't know, and I can't see anything, and is that really true? Is that just my mind? You know, all this, they'll just go, whoop. Good night, Lorian. So that they can open up the highway to get to you more directly. And that's not, don't take that as a, that's not a bad thing. It just is what it is. And they know what they have to do to get to you. And so they will put you to sleep if they have to. It's nice to do this laying down. You don't need to be sitting up looking at me. In fact, you could start laying down now. Unless you wanted to look at me for whatever reason, but I'm not the most interesting part of tonight's show, so you're welcome to lay down. I am going to be drumming for you to let you know. And then don't let me forget to tell you about this gift, because I'm going to gift this. This is a special piece. I call it the key. This is a necklace that Sylvia made. I've been holding on to it till tonight. It is a double term scepter celestial quartz with a diamond on top of it. And it literally is a dimensional key. It can also be used as a pendulum. And so I'm wearing it tonight to charge it up with this experience, and then I'm going to gift it. And what I would like to ask, because Spirit has told me this is supposed to go to someone who's never owned a piece of Sylvia's jewelry before. This is to be someone's first Sylvia. And I want to say the value of it is $250 or so, somewhere in that range. So it's diamond code. It's a very special piece. I've worn it a couple of times. It's really beautiful. It's completely adjustable too. It has little stations in it, so if you want to make it shorter, you can do that. But someone is going to win that. But it has to be somebody who hasn't had any of her jewelry before. That's how Spirit is helping me narrow down the field. Pagan said I can pop her Sylvia cherry. I'm excited about that. Sylvia Peluso is my favorite jewelry designer. I've been wearing her pieces since I launched Sage Goddess. I still have my original pieces from her. She actually lives about 10 minutes from Sage Goddess and here. I get to go over and play with her a lot, which is fun, and I feel very, very spoiled to have her so close. But she channels energy and makes jewelry, and it's absolutely beautiful. I don't want to digress too much tonight with our time, but we'll help you find her site if you haven't seen her stuff before. Even just to look at it is really beautiful. But I got this piece from her 3 or 4 months ago, and I've just been holding on to it. I knew it was supposed to come in the first Elder Council of 2020. She's really, really special. Okay, so I'm going to continue with my smudging and tell you the rest of the story. So I had started Magical Sabbatical, and my spirit guide said, you're going to do a quarterly journey with these incredible people to help them meet their spirit guides. And the only thing that you need to know and that they need to know, because at first I was like, where are we going? What are we doing? It's always me with all the questions, right? What they said is the only thing that's really important for tonight, and I want you to pause and really hear me, even if you've done Elder Council with me a bunch of times. I still want you to stop and listen, because it always bears an intentional repeating and a really defined sitting with the question. The only requirement is you have to bring a question in. And it can't be an unimportant question. The way they described it to me all of those years ago is that it had to be a question of import. The question that you bring in tonight or to any Elder Council has to be a question upon which an important decision or choice or movement or experience in your life depends. So I always use this example, even though it's kind of dumb, but it's like you can't come into Elder Council and go, Should I wear my blue dress tomorrow or my black dress tomorrow? That's not an elder council question. An elder council question is, should I leave my relationship? Should I pursue a new career path? Should I have children? Should I, what do I need to know to become a more effective healer? My question for tonight, which sometimes I share my questions and sometimes I don't, but I just kind of love being in this soft space with you tonight. My question for tonight that I'm really sitting with is, I feel like our world is reaching something of a tipping point in its development. And I'm not referring to politics or even pop culture, or like, I'm not referring to anything modern. What I'm getting in meditations and seeing over and over again, and it's coming to me in dream time, is, our planet has gone through these evolutionary cycles. Feels good to play with that smoke a little bit too. And I feel like it's completing another one of its evolutionary cycles. But for the first time, I feel like a lot of what will happen next is being left up to us, more than has been true in the past. And so what I want to figure out, I'm not journeying for myself tonight, except to the extent that I'm one of you, right? Like, I live on this planet, I have children on this planet, I have people I love on this planet. So to that extent, I am journeying for myself, but I'm really looking at myself in the context of the collective. And my question is, what do I need to know tonight in order to be able to hold accurate space for the collective for the rest of this year? So I'm asking for a little bit of precognition tonight, a little bit of a preview, knowing that the spirit guides don't overwhelm. So they're only going to give what I'm ready to receive, or what's accessible in a good way right now. That's so nice to see you guys chit-chatting. And I love knowing what your questions are too. So like Colin's wanting to know what do I need to know to walk through the next 6 months in grace and on my soul path? I love that. And then Andrea's question is, what do I need to know about my past lives and how to integrate that in my present? Yeah, it's a very good question. And Grace is asking, and Jamie, maybe listening to other people's questions or reading them might help you, like with phrasing, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's like, sometimes kind of what you want to ask, but it's really hard to understand how to ask it, like concretely, what the actual words or the actual whatever. So Grace is asking, what do I need to know to increase my vitality? Thank you, Siren. And then Ursula, I just want to know if I am supposed to be alone for the rest of my life, but I'm not sure if that's an important enough question. Really? Really? I think that's a really fucking important question. I mean, how you're supposed to walk this path in terms of who or what energies, or, you know what I mean? Like, that seems incredibly valid. Very, very critical at this particular time. Lee says, Roush is asking, what do I need to know to move into the next level of healing for the feminine line in my family? That's an even more honed question, tightened a little bit. And I would say well aspected, because given that there's all this feminine energy around what we're doing together tonight, I think it's a perfect time to ask about relationship, to ask about maternity, to ask about post-maternity, to ask about soul path and purpose, to ask about healing. Another great question for tonight, if you felt called to it. You guys must not have much to clear because it's not really burning up that much tonight. This is really fresh sage. It's great. Maybe you're all good. That's what we want to see. It's sort of like going to the dentist and having no cavities. Versus when the sage won't go out at all, and it's like, have you just been eating sugar for dinner? So I'm happy to see it. Another really good question tonight, I think, in general, would be um, how to heal the feminine lineage, and also how to understand your own feminine power, what the face of your feminine power looks like, and how to manifest more of that in the world in support of your healing and in support of the planet's healing, if that resonates with you too. So soul path, soul purpose. Rochelle asked, I want to know if I'm to continue on the path of working one-on-one with plant medicine with women for their healing, and if I can quit my job to do this full time. I like that question too. What do I need to know to be a professional healer, right? Want to help heal the DNA line for Julie. I love that. Are you on your right path? These are all great questions. I don't see any questions here where I'm like, well, you know what I mean? But the point is, what they told me is, I will be granted permission to do this with you, as I have done continuously. We've done it every quarter for the last 8 years, as long as I tell you that and you honor that commitment. So just make sure that whatever your question is, it's of import. Something important depends on it, meaning that what you learn tonight will make a difference. Maybe you'll do more of something. Maybe you'll do less of something. Maybe you'll stop worrying so much. Maybe you'll participate in your relationship in a different way, or stop participating in your relationship in a different way. I don't know what the answer is for you, but I think allowing all of that insight to come through is really, really beautiful. How to be a better mother is a great question. Love that so much. Casey's got a great question too. What do I need to know as more choices show up in the next year? What should my next move be from here in my career? I love choices. Choices are like sex. Can you really ever have too much? That should be a meme. It's kind of true. You can definitely have not enough choices. When I don't have choices, I freak out. I really do. That is my biggest fear, is not having choice. I like to feel like everything's a choice. Even though I know some things are not choices, because I have a Sag moon, it's got to feel like a choice, or I feel like I got to get out. So it's very important for my psyche to feel like I have choices. All right, you guys ready? Does that sound good? So tonight, they're going to do the driving. Usually I have a place that I'm leading you to. They're like, no, we're not doing that tonight. You're going to be making some visitations tonight. And they're going to guide that process. They're going to lead you where you need to go. And in some cases, they may lead you to a literal cemetery where you're going to go visit your old bones. That may happen for you tonight. They may lead you back to your grandmother's house when you were 5, sitting at her table, looking into her eyes, listening to what she was trying to tell you, but maybe you can pay better attention now, right? I think that may happen. They may take you back to ancient temples where you practice magic, so that you can remember what kind of magic you practiced, and continue to bring more of that energy through, but again, from a place of like deeper knowing, deeper appreciation, deeper understanding. And so tonight is about visitation. Stones for tonight, it's a great question. By the way, they have always guided me one question. I don't make the rules, so I know. And again, I like to have choices, so I like to ask 100 questions. But the more questions you ask, the less intense insight you're going to get. Does that make sense? You'll dilute it. So try to really like use that question as a funnel, so that they can work with that question to guide the visitations that you're going to have. Otherwise, you're going to feel like you're all over the place, and like you're going to struggle to try to put the pieces together in a coherent way to understand them. Does that make sense? So to the extent that you can, really, really try to hold a single question. Yeah, well, and if you were adopted, what a powerful experience these visitations could really be for you. Right? Like, what don't you know? What questions are you holding that maybe you thought you wouldn't get answers for? Tonight could be a really interesting experience, right? Yeah, you can always smoke, cannabis before ceremony. I try not to overdo anything before ceremony, because as a priestess, I feel like part of my job is to be lucid. So I really try to minimize any kind of recreational consumption or even like alcohol consumption, because I always feel like, even though it's kind of fun to be soft, I always feel like my journeys are more powerful when I'm lucid. But having said that, if it takes a little bit of the edge off, I don't think that's a bad thing. You can also, Blue Lotus tea is a really nice softener that doesn't, it's not a head thing. It doesn't take you out of your head, but it sort of softens your body. You don't want to do too much of that because it's kind of a muscle relaxant. But so yeah, just a little bit of cannabis or just something to kind of soften you up before journey. If you have that and it's legal where you are, then, you know, party on, Wayne. Celestial quartz is great for tonight. Any crystal that you want to infuse, any jewelry that you want to charge with this experience, you should go and just have that jewelry on or near you on your altar. It'll charge through. We're charging. I've been working today with these cuffs that I brought home from Tucson. I don't know if you posted a picture yet, Alexis. I haven't been in the group a whole lot this afternoon, but Alexis will show you, if she hasn't already, these beautiful leather cuffs that we brought home. They're gorgeous. And so we're going to have those for you next Tuesday, I think, something like that. So those are being charged in ceremony tonight with a big quartz sphere. I'll show that to you later too. Rosemary tea is nice. It's not going to soften you up as much as Blue Lotus or mugwort tea, which will literally physically soften you. You can burn a little buchu or some Boom Shiva. That will also soften your central nervous system and get you kind of ready. But honestly, whatever you feel called to, using your intuition, that's what you should do. Okay, cool. Alexis will post for you later. Oh, you saw the picture on Instagram. Okay, so tools that you need, if you want to have tools, is your Elder Council perfume to anoint with, or whatever perfume you're working with tonight. This is my little bottle of Femme Elder Council. I've already anointed with that a ton tonight, so I'm going to focus on regular Elder Council perfume. And then if you have your Elder Council candle, you can light that. If you have chumpies, you can make a ring around where you're sitting or where you're laying. My rule with chumpies, and I'll teach you more about this in Crystal Masters later in the year, is I place them starting with the first point all the way to the 7th. I place them clockwise in order from 1 to 7. And then when I take my chumpies down, I remove them from 7 to 1, so counterclockwise, again in order from 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and put them back in the bag. So if you're working with your chumpies or you want to place your chumpies, you can do that too. Are there any other questions I can answer for you before we get started? Shaman Stone is a great one for tonight. Leopard Jasper is always great for shamanic journey. It's just a good solid, to work with. It's a really powerful journeying stone. Keeps you safe when you're journeying too. I'm just reading your comments to see if there's anything else I can tell you. Kava's fun. I don't do a lot of kava because I don't like my tongue being numb. Kava's fun, but the numbness is like, I'm not into it. So I have a bunch of kava at home, but that's why I have a bunch of kava at home because I don't like to have a numb tongue. Yeah, Goddess Within, Danu would be great. Dark Freya, if you have Dark Freya, would be fun because any of the goddess perfumes, given that we're working with feminine energy tonight, is going to be really powerful for you. So any of the goddesses that you have that you want to work with would be really great. Seraphonite's great. Cradle of Humankind will take you some interesting places. There are human remains in Cradle of Humankind, which is partly why they're not mining it anymore. But you have some, I have some, and so that's a good one for you to use too. Yeah, Fairy Tears solid for journey, absolutely. Why not? I love it. Chumpies are hard for us to get because it takes the shaman in Peru who make them, it takes them 2 weeks to make one set. Each person makes one set at a time, and they go into a trance, and they work every day, and it's 2 weeks to make a set. And so we get them once or twice a year. So we definitely will try to get more for you. I think we're out of stock of what we had right now. We may have some gemstone ones left. We had some chrysocolla ones and some rhodochrosite chumpies, but I'm not sure. Those might be gone as well. We can check for you later. Ooh, phenakite. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And the golden healer Merkaba is really good. Merkabas are always good for journey because they help your spirit travel. They really do. They're like these little spinning stars of light So holding a Merkaba during your journey, especially if you have one of the little ones, like one of the gifts that we gave you, because there was a GWP of one when we were in Tucson. That if you have that one, that would be super fun for you to work with tonight. Chumpies are, and again, I'm going to teach you all about this in Crystal Masters. Chumpies are these carved, this is the meteorite set. They're carved pieces. There's 7 in a set, and each one has a different number of points. So this is number 1, this is number 3, this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is number 2. And what they represent are the 7 mountains that surround the city of Cusco in Peru. And those mountains are called the Apu, or the grandfathers. And each one of the mountains bestows a different blessing. And so when you have all 7 of the Chumpies, which is a magic number anyway, it's a number of cycle completion, then you are calling in the blessings of all of those grandfather spirits, which is protection and prosperity and joy and clearing. And so they're just really powerful tools. And they've been made by hand in Peru for a long time. But because they are made by hand and there's no machine, you can't speed up the process. There's a whole apprentice and training thing that goes on when one generation hands off the trade to the next generation. It's really sacred and very beautiful. So anyway, that's that. And then, yeah, apophyllite, tanzanite. You guys have got great ideas for what you're what you're working with tonight, so you're in good shape. Okay, so let us begin. I want you to start to soften and relax. As we move into the journey space, I'm going to encourage you to participate less in the feed and also to look less at the feed. I think you'll have a deeper and more relaxing experience. I will still keep my eye on the feed, more or less, although I'm going to be journeying with you too. So while we're actually in the journey space, I won't be responding to questions because I do it with you. I really like to journey with you. It's very special for me. I get my own hits and my own downloads and my own insights. Sometimes I get them for you too. So I will be working right alongside you. So if you're dropping out of the feed, we love you. I will still be here. I'm not going anywhere. A little bit at my ankles for where I go. And then a little bit at my third eye for what I know. Yeah, maximize your screen. Tune in, drop out. Know that you're held and you're loved, and everybody's here. We'll all be here when you get back. See you on the other side. Just relax. And part of why people join this program and have these experiences is I'm holding the container for you. I'm opening the container for you. I'm drawing the energetic boundaries for you. You're safe, you're held, you're protected. There is the most beautiful white luminous light that surrounds us when we're in our container. The guardians of the 4 gateways are here and holding, or will be in just a moment. And so you just get to relax and enjoy and just be. And this next hour for you is your gift to you. We only do this once a quarter. So just trust me when I tell you, you have nowhere else to be right now, nowhere else to go. Nobody needs you right this minute that I know of. If they do, they'll still be waiting there for you in an hour. Just unplug. Go somewhere else for a little while. Aren't you tired of being present and alert? And to my spirit guides, I call upon you this evening to come closer, to surround me and guide me, help me to hold this container with grace. I call upon my ancestral lineage, in support of my ancestors, especially the female lineage. I call upon aunts and grandmothers tonight, great-grandmothers, and all the way back and down the line. Spirit guides who have guided my hand since before my birth, who guided my mother and her mother before her. I also call upon my female lineage on my father's side, my aunts, my grandmother, her mother before her mother before her, and her mother before her. Tonight we celebrate, we dance with you. We seek access to your wisdom. We appreciate your blessings and your presence. We're proud to be in your lineage tonight. We come forward to honor you this evening. We ask for your support, your encouragement, your presence, your energy. Amen aho, so it is. Come closer, spirit guides, come closer. And if you're sitting, just roll your shoulders back. Turn your neck from side to side. Make sure you're loosening up your joints, loosening your energy. Don't be stiff. Let yourself kind of slide back into the chair. If you're laying down, I want you to start to become aware of your back, your shoulders, your lower back, your spine. Try to drop in and connect to the floor as much as you possibly can. If you're seated, take note of where your hips are seated. Move your hips from side to side. Try to find your balance. Become aware of your feet, your toes, the soles of your feet. Become aware of your hands, your fingers, the palms of your hands. And turn your hands facing up so that your palms are facing the ceiling of the room that you're in. I want you to imagine that out of your left hand extends the most beautiful beam of white, vibrant light. This is the light of all of the archangels, ascended masters, spirit teachers, all of the guides and guardians from all of the dimensions. I want you to allow that white beam of light to extend out of your left hand and to surround our entire community tonight, crossing continents, space and time, bodies of water. And I want you to track that line as it curves out of your hand and extends around and around and around and around, and feel that chill that's running up your spine. Feel that warmth that's coming through your hands. Feel the flow of energy as we open this container. Feel the intensity and the power of that light as it moves through you. And invite every cell in your body tonight to open and receive the nourishment of this light. If there's any pain, any illness or disease, I want you to allow every cell to open right now, receive that white light and be healed in this time, in this place. Allow that white light to come through and transmute any heaviness in your spirit or your heart, replacing every ounce of sadness with joy, replacing every ounce of doubt with certainty, replacing every ounce of pain with pure comfort and pleasure, replacing any form of disease or illness with complete and total healing. And when that white beam of light has finished its turn around this circle, it will come back to you in your right hand. And when it does, you'll feel the same tingling in your right hand as you do in your left. That's how you'll know you've completed that circuit. And allow that beam of light to come through both of your hands, up over your elbows, over your shoulders. Allow it to pixelate through your entire body, piercing and moving through all of your internal organs, running along those meridian lines north and south, extending through that Sushumna, that central channel, up through the back of your neck, over your brain and skull, moving down over your eyes and back into your brain through the pineal gland, opening the third eye. Allow that beam of light to now push through the crown chakra and spill out above your head, creating a fountain of light that comes back through your body, through the bottoms of your feet. As that beam of light comes through the soles of your feet, feel it come through your ankles, your shins, your knees, over your thighs to your hips. Feel it move through like the Kundalini winding snake. Feel it move through and over and around your lower chakras, bathing your root chakra, your sacral chakra tonight, and your solar plexus. Feel yourself come fully into your body at this time and yet extend fully out of your body, and that's how you'll know the flow of energy is complete. You should feel as though you're standing in a fountain of light and it's pulsating, it's moving through you. There's a rhythm to it and a power to it. And if you allow it right now, it's strong enough, it will push through any blockages, any resistance in your body. Open the heart, open the throat, open the third eye. And then watch the flow move through the meridians back down through the root and down through the Earth Star chakra, where that will connect you and plug you into the Earth Zone crystalline matrix. Feel as your body becomes connected to every crystal on the planet, all of the planetary ley lines, and feel that energy as it pushes down through your soul star or through your Earth Star, down through the center of the Earth, and connects you and plugs you into all of the major vortex points on the planet. Feel how in this moment you can sense the vibration of Mount Shasta. You can sense the vibration of Glastonbury. It's not hard to connect to these power places on Earth once you open the flow of energy. Everything is within easy reach for you at this time. This is a perfect time too to call in the healing that you need. Again, just allow it to come up through the soles of your feet and down through the top of your head, and push through those meridians. And really bring your attention right now to places in your body where you have had discomfort, and focus and imagine that energy just vibrating and flowing through there like a circuit. And watch it push past those areas of blockage and resistance and pain, even if it's decades old, even if it's 50 years old, even if it's 70 years old. There's nothing that this energy can't flow through, especially once you're plugged in, as above and so below. You're now connected to an infinite source of energy that cannot be depleted. And guides and guardians of the Eastern Gateway, in this open place, we welcome you. We call upon you tonight to help open our minds, extend our consciousness, to understand not only where we are today and what we need to do moving forward in our lives, but also where we've come from and how to honor the legacy and the lineage that has supported us and brought us through. We ask for spaciousness tonight. We ask for you to help us keep our minds open and fluid, allowing all wisdom and information to come through, resisting any kind of judgment or analysis tonight, just letting it be. Whatever you see, whatever you sense, whatever you feel, it's all welcome. We thank you for that open-minded, open-hearted perspective tonight, Guardians of the East, and we welcome you. To the guides and guardians of the South, we welcome you tonight, connecting us into the Fire Gateway, helping us to welcome transformation, to find new pathways for passion and courage and creativity in our lives. Help us to really understand and interpret and allow this feeling that we're feeling right now so that we can recreate this in our waking life during our conscious hours. Help us to remember what it feels like to be so connected to the flow so that we can move this way and help to inspire others to live this way as well. We thank you already for the transformation that we are undergoing in this moment. We welcome you into the ceremony space. Guides and guardians of the West, the Water Gateway tonight. Tonight we seek absolute flow and healing. Tonight we seek surrender and the ability to submit to our lives, submit to our journey, submit to our path without resistance, without limitation. Guide us toward greater ease and prosperity in our lives. Show us the way to physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual healing for ourselves and for all those who cross our path. We welcome you into the ceremony space. Guides and guardians of the North, we call upon you tonight for patience, protection, and purpose. We thank you for the stability that you provide. We thank you for reminding us to slow down, to take our time. We thank you for the presence of the ancestors and all those in our lineage tonight who we know reside in the North, as well as our great spirit teachers, both in physical and in spirit form, who are here as guides and guardians to help show us the way. We welcome you into the ceremony space. To the guides and guardians of the upper realms, the Akashic gateways, the cosmic library, and all of the star gateways, outer dimensions, additional galaxies, we open our arms to you tonight. We welcome you into the ceremony space. Help us to really feel, sense, and enjoy a multidimensional experience tonight. allowing us to leave our bodies with grace, knowing that we will safely return later. We thank you for wisdom already on its way. To the guides and guardians of the middle world, thank you for our community. We ask for blessings upon each person in this sacred circle tonight, all who are watching now and all who will watch later in that time outside of time. We welcome you into the ceremony space, and to the guides and the guardians of the lower world. Thank you for helping us connect to our planet tonight, to find new ways to bring healing, to bring peace, balance, and grounding. I think each of us recognizes as a priestess, it is our role and responsibility to help others understand their lives in a better way, in a fuller way, without judgment, without expectation of change, but simply becoming a conduit for a higher vibrational energy that's moving across our planet at this time. Help us to be good stewards of this energy. Help us to be good teachers. We thank you for helping us plug into these bigger, broader sources of energy, helping us to keep a broader perspective about our lives, not to get lost in the details or to be too selfish, but to see that we're part of one matrix. And we give thanks and welcome you into the ceremony space. And with that, our circle is open. I'm going to go ahead and light my candle. And if you're fully in, you just stay where you are. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. Where you are, what you have is perfect. And so we're going to begin our journey tonight without the drum, and then I will bring the drum in for you as we start to pick up the pace and the frequency and the vibration of the work that we're about to do. And so I want you to begin in your body tonight. And the first part of our journey isn't a journey outside, it's a journey inside. And I want you to begin tonight by bringing all of your attention, all of your energy towards your heart space. Your heart is the first organ that formed when you began this human experience this time. It formed before your brain, it formed before any other organs in your body. And the end of your heartbeat will be the completion of this lifetime. You begin and you end with the heart. So I want you to take a moment to journey within your heart this evening. And for some of you, it might be the first time you've ever gone into that heart space with real intention. And I want you to imagine that your heart, instead of being this beautiful, vibrant, red beating organ of life force, I want you to imagine that for tonight, your heart is a room. It's a space. Everything is space. Your heart is a space too. And I want you to journey into that space, and I want you to imagine being able to step into your heart and clear up that space tonight. I want you to imagine that this is a room that you're stepping into, no matter what's happened to you in your life, what kind of heartache or sorrow or joy or happiness or peace you've experienced. Tonight, as you step into that space, I want you to imagine taking a cosmic broom and sweeping through all of the time and the cobwebs and the expectations and the experiences. Tonight we are cleaning out the heart space, because we're going to prepare it tonight as a sacred and beautiful and pristine sanctuary of your own personal life force in your life. And as you move into that heart, you might sense resistance, like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. There's too much in there. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Some of you may feel like, oh, it's already clean and clear and waiting for me. But I want you to imagine your heart as a room full of windows, full of light. Maybe there's lights coming from above. Maybe there's lights coming from below. And I want you to move around your heart space tonight, and I want you to go from one window to another, and I want you to open all of those windows. And I want you to imagine that as you move around the room of your heart and you open all these windows tonight, that the most beautiful, warm, fresh air comes through those windows. Maybe you can even feel the breezes of that air moving past you. And I want you to allow that air to circulate through you and around you and to purify you, to detoxify you, to cleanse and to allow energy to flow through this space now in a way that it never has before. And make sure you've gone to every window in that space and open all of those windows and let that beautiful light and that air and that breeze come through. And if you find little pockets of unforgiveness, I want you to take that little pocket over to one of the windows and release it through the window and send it out with love. Or if you find a little pocket of sadness or longing in one corner, I want you to again pick up that little pocket of whatever that energy is and just place it outside the window. Let the birds come and take it. Let the wind come and retrieve it. Cobwebs. And maybe you're even finding a younger version of you in that room that's been hiding. For some of you, I feel like there's a little 5-year-old over in the corner that's like, you can't clean me. And I want you to invite, if there are younger parts of you, or maybe these are parts of your soul, this is soul loss tonight perhaps, where you had to shed some part of who you were or what you wanted because you had to keep moving, you had to keep living, you had to keep going, and so some part of you stopped there. And I don't know what that might be for you, but I want you to invite that part of yourself to stand up, to come forward to you, and I want you to put your arms around that part of yourself tonight. I can feel the intensity of this for you. I want you to put your arms around that part of you tonight, and if you need to weep, weep. But I want you to notice yourself almost as a sovereign mother, putting her arms around her own child and reassuring that part of you that all is well now, you're safe, you're held, and it's okay to let that energy go. It's okay to let that energy move through you. We can still grieve people and let them go. We can still love people and let them go. We can still forgive people and let them go. And take your time there. What else is in this room that's wanting to stay or resisting being cleared or moved or transmuted tonight? We're opening up all the doors to the heart space tonight. The feminine in you needs this to happen because she can't continue to carry the grief, she can't continue to carry the loss, she can't continue to carry the fear and do this noble work that you have set out to do in this lifetime. And notice where your spirit's taking you. What are the memories that are coming up here? Does it surprise you? Like, really? I'm still holding on to that? Really? That part of me is holding on? Or maybe you're not surprised at all. Maybe you thought, nope, I knew I would find him here. I knew I would find her here. With a breath of love, release. On the wind, to the birds. And now I want you to imagine connecting through its own ley line, its own destiny line. I want you to connect your heart now back to your own mother's heart. Remember that your heart beat within her. Your heart beat with her. And as you connect that energy line, that destiny line back to your mother's heart tonight, I want you to sense the rhythm of your heart and the rhythm of her heart. And it doesn't matter whether you ever knew your mother, whether she's still alive, none of those things matter. This is an energetic exercise, and so connecting the line back to her heart. And connect another line out of your heart back to the heart of your father's mother. And now draw those two lines together. And so now I want you to imagine pulsing that flow out through their hearts as well. Giving permission here, if they desire, to also allow their hearts to open and clear and process and release. Releasing old timelines, old narratives, old beliefs, old experiences. And there's a lot here, keep in mind, that's unprocessed. It was very difficult for women in previous generations, not for everybody, but for a lot of women, there wasn't a lot of processing that was happening. And the further back down your matrilineal you go, the less processing there tended to be. And allow energy to flow through these lines. You're not doing this for them. This isn't coming from your own energy field. I want you to imagine channeling the pure divine white light of Source to flow through those destiny lines and to purify, cleanse, release, purify, cleanse, release, purify, cleanse, release, purify, cleanse, release. This isn't from you. This is through you. You're opening a doorway tonight for your lineage to heal. We're healing sorrow tonight. We're healing feeling unwanted tonight. We're healing loss tonight. We're healing grief. We're healing feeling ultimately unseen. We're healing some lineages of abuse. We're healing physical, emotional, spiritual trauma. We're healing judgment tonight. And again, just imagining purifying, cleansing, releasing. You don't even need to know what it is. This is not your business. This is just you channeling an energy stream to allow these destiny lines to be cleared. And a deep breath there. And now from here, I want you to allow this to be a dance between you and your spirit guides, you and your elder council. We ask you, spirit guides, ascended masters, spirit teachers, ancestors, all of whom are choosing to come forward tonight to support you. There might be animal spirit allies who are coming forward to support you. Teachers in pure spirit who've never incarnated or embodied before coming to support you. And so give them permission now as I begin to drum for you to lead you through other timelines, other pathways. Where are we going? Right now we're with mother and father's mother. We're with mother and grandmother. Maybe they're going to lead you to your mother's mother, and from there, down that line. Maybe they're going to jump you there because we can jump timelines. Maybe they're going to fast track you or rewind you back to your first incarnation on this planet and then move you forward through those timelines so that you can heal them in a reverse chronology. Open your mind, open your heart to what's really possible for healing tonight as we catalog the bones. And simply allow, this is not through you, it's not of you, it's just energy that you are channeling through. You're creating a passageway for this energy to flow and move. And so remind yourself not to get in the way, just to simply observe, witness, and then surrender to the process. And as Spirit moves you and moves with you, take note of what you see, what you sense, what you feel, what you smell. As we weave the timelines. mother's heart. To your heart. And beginning now to bring all of your energy back from all the places and spaces and timelines and destinies and origins and ceremonies and births and deaths and everything in between. And collapsing all of those timelines, rerouting all of those lines to return back to your heart space. And I want you to notice how and if your heart feels a little bit different on the return now. You spent a lot of time clearing it out, opening the windows and doors and aerating, transmuting, releasing before you left. And now as you come back in, I want you to notice maybe ways in which your heart might feel more expanded, even a little bit more clean or more clear. Might feel quite different having left and experienced all of that collapsing energy, all of those different timelines merging and then returning back to the purity and the sanctity of your own heart space. And I want you to consider how you might in your life begin to embody this feeling. That once you understand a little bit of the bigger picture, a little bit of where you've been, a little bit of where your mother line has been, how it might offer you some really sacred insight that helps you lead your life in a different way. Maybe with more compassion or more understanding, less judgment or less fear. Feeling more of your own inner strength and your own power. Understanding that their experiences are not your experiences. So you feel less of a need to solve them or change them or ignore them. Really allowing each of those entities to have its own sovereignty, its own sovereign experience. You can bear witness to it, you can acknowledge it, but it's not yours. And take just a moment here while we're still in the journey space to take a mental note of where you went and what you felt. For me, this was very much a feeling journey as opposed to a seeing journey, or even really a hearing journey. This was very much a feeling. An opening, and accepting, and appreciating, but also seeing that a lot of the things that we worry about or spend time feeling anxiety about really aren't worthy of that fear and that anxiety and that worry. I sense a lot of that tonight, which is a beautiful gift. And so I want you to take note of what you saw, sensed, felt, smelled, experienced tonight, and also what the gift of this journey might be for you. And it can be really subtle or it can be really profound. It can be just as simple and easy as, you know what, I think I can release some of that fear I have about this thing. Or, you know what, I think I can be a little bit more brave. Or, yeah, you know, I don't need to be so frustrated with her anymore because I'm not her and she has her own experience. And I want you to imagine that you can give a gift tonight, a really selfless gift, that you can take some of the peace that you might be feeling, or the sovereignty that you might be feeling, or the connectedness that you might be feeling, the purpose that you might be feeling, or the inspiration maybe. And I want you to imagine that you can send down those destiny lines that we've opened tonight. I want you to imagine sending that gift through all of those lines tonight, to your mother, to your father's mother, and then through those lines down through the rest of the lines. Can you gather up whatever that medicine is that they gave you tonight, that they showed you tonight, and blow it through your hands out to them tonight. And again, it doesn't matter whether they're living or deceased. It doesn't matter whether you ever knew them or spoke to them, because the energy is so incredibly powerful. Can you send forgiveness? Can you send fearlessness? Can you send compassion? Can you send acceptance? I'm feeling a lot of gratitude and compassion. And just watch that love, kind of track that love that you're sending, and watch it move through those channels out to every ancestor in your line who needs it tonight. This is why you're here. Stop to think for a moment about what they had to do, where they had to go and get to, what they had to overcome just to create you, just to literally give you life. Even if they did nothing for you once you got here. The absolute sacrifice and, in many cases, hardship that it took just to get you here. And now, to all of the ancestors, I would like to ask for the same thing in return. Ancestors in the light who are with us this evening, see us in this moment, see how we are trying to show up, to do this work, to be brave, to be authentic, to make you proud, to be worthy of the immense sacrifices that you made to bring us here. See us in our fragility and even in our weakness and in our fear. And so to all the ancestors and to spirit guides, master teachers who are here, if there are any gifts you wish to bestow upon us tonight, gifts of wisdom, gifts of peace, gifts of prosperity, gifts of good health, gifts of contentment, gifts of deeper inner knowing, inner strength, we ask you to please send those gifts to us this evening. We receive them with gratitude. And just be with your arms open, your palms facing up, your fingers open to receive these gifts into your energy field. And spirit guides, we ask tonight that if you mean for us to be in service to others at this time, please put them in our paths. Help us to know when, where, and how to be in service. Help us to know when, where, and how to align with the highest good. We ask that you support us, protect us, encourage us, nourish us, and bless us upon this path that we've chosen, that you chose for us. We thank you for your guidance, your wisdom, and the sweet connection we enjoyed tonight together in our community. And we release you with gratitude and so much love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen, aho, and so it is. Amen, aho, and so it is. Amen, aho, and so it is. I just blew out my candle. I'm watching my smoke rise. And you, if you haven't already, can start to just very gently turn from side to side, turn your head from side to side, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Little subtle movements to bring you back to present time. That was a very intense experience for me. I hope it was a really great experience for you, too. I never know quite where we're going. But I know it's somewhere good. And we will. I sense that there is a patrilineal part 2 to this, where we will do this for our male lineage. I do feel that there will be a part 2 for this. Oh, I'm so glad. And some of you saw younger selves, right? Saw older selves. Was it like a dream? That's really beautiful. Oh, thank you for that. Cindy said it's her favorite elder council. Cindy's been around the block with me. This ain't her first rodeo, so that's a really lovely compliment. I'm so glad. I always feel this way, but I don't want to leave the space. But in a good way. I just don't want it to end. It's really sweet. And such a gift, just to get some validation, and also to know that it's always possible. The healing is always, it's always possible. It's not like, well, it's too late because, right? It's never too late. Like, you're right on time, no matter what's happened in your life. That's the ultimate, for me, that's the ultimate, I think, spiritual realization, is that in any moment, your timing is perfect to start your healing work, to expand your healing work, to become authentic, to live authentically, to claim healing. Yeah, Colin said she really needed the recalibration. I think I did too. It felt like a recalibration tonight. It felt like a recentering, I think. And also this really powerful reminder, you know, our ancestors have lived through a lot. In so many ways, we are the most blessed of all of our generations, right? We have technology and ease and cue siren. But one of the things I was getting in my journey as I was going with you was we have to be really careful that how do I put this? We have to be careful. Sometimes the immense amount of interconnectedness and technology and information leads to a lot of really intense overwhelm. Our ancestors were not as overwhelmed as we are, is what I got. And that overwhelm, if you think of how small children react to being overwhelmed, they get very anxious and they get very agitated, and then they're not in their body anymore, right? There's like a meltdown. And that's kind of, I think, what's happening. That's what I was getting anyway for, you know, people right now, like even with, you know, like a mundane example, like the coronavirus. Like I just think we have to be careful that we don't create overwhelm. Because we have this view on things sometimes, and we sort of coagulate with information, and then we like spin ourselves up, and it's not always accurate. You know what I mean? So we have to be very careful that we engage wisdom, but we don't engage anxiety. I was getting a lot of messages around not just that, but like anxiety in general, and how very much, you know, when you worry about something and it doesn't happen, you can't ever really get that time back, right? Like worry is such a thief, and it never returns the stolen goods. You know what I mean? And so, and every time in my life that I've worried about things that didn't happen, I always look back and go, man, I wish that I hadn't spent that time worrying or being anxious. So a lot of what I was getting was for me to be something of a calming force energetically, to like really watch how I hold my center, because I can also begin to vibrate that out and hold that for the world, as we all can, but that's part of my responsibility right now, is to really strengthen my solar plexus, which is how we center, right? We center in the solar plexus, and also to keep my heart really, really open. Because when you have anxiety, your heart closes down, because anxiety perpetuates fear, and you can't have fear with an open heart. Those are mutually exclusive conditions. And so, really interesting, right? Yeah, go from worry to trust. It's a beautiful way of putting it, Rochelle. Vanya said that her question was answered visually while in her heart, and they said, ask one more as important. They were beautiful. I'll try to write it. I'm looking forward to reading it. That's beautiful, Tandra. She said, I feel like this whole elder council came together for just me and my feelings lately. Does anyone else feel that? I don't think that that's wrong. I think it's exactly what was needed. And what I love is, I didn't really know what it was going to be, really, even until today. And then it was like, oh. So part of my job is to trust that, you know, what they show and what they curate, you know, is right on time. I think it is right on time. if you really take the medicine of tonight, whatever it was for you, and like I said, I could feel a lot of the things that you were feeling as I allowed myself to kind of move into your timelines too. Tonight can really be profound if you let it. If you don't just say, I had this experience, now I'm gonna get up off the floor, put my clothes back on, and just go back to my life as if this never happened, then no, tonight isn't going to shift your experience. But tonight will shift your experience if you allow yourself to really feel what this feels like in your body, mind, spirit right now, and then move forward trying your best to embody this for other people. And then when you get triggered, right, you're feeling all lovey-dovey to your mom right now, and then she says something shitty later or something like that. When you get triggered, we talked about the sacred pause this week. Take that sacred pause and come back here. Go back to the visual of your heart with all those windows open and remind yourself, no, I have cleared, I have cleaned, I have transmuted. I'm going to move from that place. And so from that place, what will I say? From that place, how will I react? Cassie's like, how'd you know I took my pants off? Because honestly, if I wasn't sitting here, my pants would be off. I don't like to journey with a bunch of clothes on. I could tell you stories. Somehow, in the middle of journeys, wherever I am, I end up naked, which is why I have to journey alone. Because it's not... For other people, it can just be uncomfortable. So, I don't have a camera into your house. I just know how I roll. That's beautiful. Yeah, and Sharon Westline, you're exactly right. She said, this journey will need at least a day to integrate the impact of what I was shown. So what I will tell you is this, especially if you're new, but even if you're not new, it bears repeating. Journeys require integration. And that's where the work happens. The integration is your journaling later tonight. The integration is your dream time when you go to bed tonight. Your integration is tomorrow, in the middle of the day, when a wave of this comes up again and you rise to meet that wave. That's integration. Your integration is how you take this medicine forward and incorporate it into your life and begin to embody it so that you live this experience. That's integration. And integration is, I think of the journey as like 25 to 50% of the experience, and the integration, how you receive it, hear it, download it, integrate it, embody it, all of that is 50 to 75% of the experience. And it's the most important part of the experience. So take your time, journal. Some really beautiful journaling questions, I would think, would be, what did you learn tonight about the women in your line? What did you learn about them? What did you see about yourself? And some of the different iterations of who you've been. What did it feel like to clean up your heart? Was it hard to clean up? I mean, if I was sitting with you one-on-one and kind of helping you process, these are the things I'd be asking you. So what was it like in your heart? Was it hard to clean it out? Was it easy to clean it out? Does it feel lighter now? How's your physical pain? If you were having discomfort earlier, like I was having some in my shoulder again from my old thing that I have, that's moved through. So are you feeling physically a little bit better? What else would I ask you? These are all important questions to ask yourself to help you process what you saw tonight. And then what gifts did you receive? What gifts did you send to the lineage when I gave you that opportunity to do that? And then what felt like it was coming back down the road towards you? What were you receiving? Felt like a lot of support that was coming through for the collective, like a lot of them seeing you and celebrating you, which felt really good too. Yeah, Katie Cat, I got a little bit of that too. She said, I learned that all of the women, including myself, feel alone. And then you learn the gift of that, right? I mean, ultimately, we are alone, right? We came here alone, we're leaving alone. And then, in the very same instant, we are never alone. But every one of the women in our lives and in our lineage, at some point, felt like she was doing it alone, like she had no one, like she was unsupported. Every single woman who gave birth to another woman, who gave birth to another woman, who gave birth to you, has felt that. And you know what? Once you recognize that everyone feels that way on some level and at some point, that's actually the moment you become reconnected to every woman who has ever lived, because you share her wound. Do you know what I mean? So yes, and then yes, and then yes. And it becomes a sense of and a source of empowerment. My biggest fear isn't feeling alone. My biggest fear is believing that I can't be alone. You know, the women that have kind of worried me the most in my life are the ones who are afraid to be alone, can't be alone, don't want to be alone, all of that. Like, that to me is what I want to avoid. The real prize, the real juice, the real meat of it is, yes, I am alone, and I'm also never alone, but I can be alone. And there's power in that. Do you know what I mean? So thank you for that. They need that compassion. And some of them never learned. Some of them never learned. We're never even, in my line, what I was getting is a lot of blocked, right here, a lot of blocked throat chakra around never even being able to express how lonely they felt. You know, my grandfather going off to war and coming back like a shredded human being, and leaving my grandmother with 6 children under the age of 15, right? And having lost everything while he was gone. Like, when I get to my dad's mother, who was a very sweet, beautiful woman, it's like this. What is she gonna do? Complain to her 6 children who barely have food to eat? Or is she gonna buck up and figure shit out? Which is what she did. Only to have all of her children at some point leave, you know, grow up and literally leave the country. Everybody left, except for 1 or 2 of the siblings. What was that life like, right? Which is why I tell you, sometimes when I lean into her energy field, I just weep. Because it's like, you know, it's like I have to get all of that up and out. And tonight, opening the windows, right, and letting all that blow through, that felt good for both of us, right? Huge compassion. That's right. And Vanya living through war in Bosnia, right? Like, it's no joke. So, you are alone, and then you are never alone. You'll never be alone. You're always part of the matrix that includes me and my heart. Right? So you're never alone. And yet you are alone. And it's okay to be alone. It's great to be alone. But you're never alone. That's the conundrum, right? Aho. That deserves a big kombucha cheers. Okay. So tonight we seal the line with compassion, grace, and mercy. We give thanks to all of the goddesses in our lineages who came forward tonight to receive their healing through us, and who came to bestow their blessings upon us and to teach us through their ways how to move with grace through the timelines and the experiences of our lives. Colin, the ways in which our lives have mirrored each other continues to astound me. I love you. I really do. I love all of you. It's really powerful. We have a lot in common. This isn't our first, drive through the countryside together, my friends. I think we've done this before. Maybe a lot of times. So I want to release all the guides and the guardians of the directions with so much gratitude tonight for holding this immense space with us and for us. Releasing the guides and guardians of the lower realm. Unplugging, unhooking us from the ground matrix, false space and time, ley lines and vortex lines points across our planet, releasing all the energy of the crystalline matrix, pulling that energy back up into our physical bodies, releasing the guides and the guardians of the lower world with gratitude, releasing the guides and guardians of the middle world with gratitude, releasing our community, releasing you with gratitude, releasing all of your spirit guides with gratitude, the guides and guardians of the upper realms, releasing you with gratitude, closing the Akashic library, the cosmic record of all time, sealing the star gateways, and releasing all entities and energies back to the many dimensions, the additional galaxies, with gratitude. Releasing the guides and the guardians of the north, we thank you for your protection and steady patience and courage and wisdom here. Grandparent energy that came through in the north, we thank you for always seeing us and stabilizing us, reminding us that we're safe to do this work. We release you with gratitude. To the guides and guardians of the west, thank you for the healing that has emerged this evening. Thank you for the many blessings that came through. Thank you for the tears that purified and sanctified the space. We release you with gratitude. To the guides and guardians of the south, thank you for the courage and the energy, the transformation, the shape-shifting. Thank you for helping us move through this phase and stage with grace. We release you with gratitude. And thank you to the guides and the guardians of the east. Thank you for helping us breathe into this exercise tonight, to open those windows, to let fresh air in and through our energy field, teaching us how to move more lightly through our life with greater ease and flow, letting go, releasing, surrendering old timelines, ways of being, in service of something new. May it be so. And with that, Elder Council for Winter 2020 is complete. Amen, aho, and so it is. And thank you for being here. It's special because you're here. And I'm really proud of you. This was big work tonight, not easy work tonight. Thank you for that, Sharon and Nancy Sue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Elle Morrison. Cassie needs to call her mom. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Amalia, and Pamela, and Michelle Nasello, and Amal. I love you too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see you. I appreciate you so much. What a powerful being you are, and how grateful I am to be in your presence. It's really true. I know you, and I am proud to walk this road with you one more time. Aho. Tomorrow I will not see you, unless a surprise comes along, because I am mentoring the 5th graders tomorrow. Those of you who are new, my daughter's in 5th grade, and I was given the great privilege this year of creating and leading a mindfulness program at their school. So tomorrow I'll be doing ceremony, but with 5th graders, which is one of my great joys. But I'll probably check in with you sometime this weekend to see how you're doing. And then next week, it all begins again. Can you believe Sunday is March 1st? We are 3 weeks away from spring here in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm very excited. Jamie's mom just called. That's pretty exciting. So we love you. We'll look forward to seeing you very soon. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody. Thank you for being there. I'll see you soon.